Hello everyone, Dave Crenshaw here, author of The Myth of Multitasking and Invaluable, and I'm going to bring to you another invaluable story. And for those of you who haven't seen an invaluable story before, basically it's the story of how someone started or was at a point where they had next to nothing and they turned it around and became invaluable in the marketplace. And while the story that you're gonna hear right now is one of the most dramatic ones I've ever heard, and I think you're going to find this really inspiring. My guest is Weldon Long, and he's a successful entrepreneur, and he's an award-winning author. His book, The Upside of Fear, won the 2009 New York Book Festival's Best Autobiography, and it's been endorsed by a couple of people like Stephen Covey, Tony Robbins, and he's been on all sorts of TV, radio stations. He focuses on helping companies improve their sales and help their their salespeople become no excuses, stone cold sales professionals. That's the phrase that he uses. So you're going to get to know Weldon here. Weldon, how you doing?
Dave, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on today.
Great. And where are you reaching us from right now?
I am on the other side of the Rocky Mountains from you in Colorado Springs, Colorado, about an hour south of Denver.
Ah, fantastic, beautiful place, and thanks for coming there. It looks like you got the real trees behind you from from the Rockies.
This is actually our studio. We broadcast a couple of sales training shows live every week from this studio.
Awesome.
And so I'm actually sitting in the studio today with you.
Oh, that's great. Well, okay, so you're definitely a pro, but we want to hear the beginning. We want to hear the bottom, and you definitely have one of those stories, and I know that's part of your story, so you share it openly. Yep. Please share with us briefly your invaluable story, the bottom point, the turning point, and where you are now.
Well, my basic story, Dave, is for 25 years I was drunk, broke, and homeless. 25 years in the streets, and between 1987 and 2003, during those 15 years, I actually spent 13 years in federal and state prison. And on June 10th, 1996, I was about halfway through that process. I still had 7 years to serve. I got the news that my father died. And when my father died, it broke my heart, obviously. And I realized that my father went to his grave knowing me only as a thief and a crook and a liar. And I made a commitment to change the course of my life and began to study and read a lot. One of the first books I picked up was 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Dr. Covey, and read that book and had my eyes wide open and decided to make a change. Over the course of the next 7 years, while I was still in prison, I got my GED, I got a law degree, got an MBA, and began to really change my fundamental character. And then in 2003, I walked out of prison just 7 years ago now. It's hard to believe. After serving 13 years, and I was broke and homeless. I got a job and developed a sales and marketing system that I thought was just going to rock and roll. And I went out trying to sell it and was very unsuccessful at trying to sell it. And so I decided to open, my wife and I decided to open our own heating and air conditioning company to prove that the sales system would work. And long story short, in the next 60 months from 2000, and that would have been 2005 through 2009, we sold $20 million of residential heating and air conditioning systems. We were selected by Inc. magazine as one of their fastest growing companies in America. And now I don't have a hard time selling my sales training systems.
Wow. Yeah. Well, because the evidence is right there of your success.
Exactly. So
that's amazing. So just 7 years ago, you were as low as you could possibly be.
Yep. I walked out. In the spring of 2003, I finished up my time. I walked out and literally broke and homeless. And I had some clothes and went out and found a job and just built it from there. And today have beautiful homes in the mountains here of Colorado and also a beautiful home in Maui. And I've just been blessed and had an extraordinary amount of success, more than I ever expected,
Wow. Okay, so here's where I come from is I always want to help someone find practical application, something that they could take away from this and actually use in their life. And of course, what you're sharing with us is just a small segment of everything that you share with people. And by the way, I'll give you the plug so you don't have to do it for yourself. If you like what you're hearing from Wally, you go to his site. His real name is Weldon Long. Wally's your nickname, right?
Right. Yeah, everybody calls me Wally.
Okay, so Weldon, Weldon, long.com, and you can go there and sign up for a newsletter and learn about how to improve your sales.
Right.
So, what is one piece of advice that you would give to someone right now who feels discouraged, feels like they don't have an opportunity, feels like they can't become invaluable? What's the one piece of advice that you would give them?
Well, what I would say with respect especially to business development, where I know you're an expert and we do a lot of work in that field as well, and a lot of folks are struggling against the economy and competitors' cheap price. And I think the thing to remember is that it's not the economy and it's not a customer's cheap price, because if it was about the economy, I would still be broke and homeless, because we had our business success during this so-called worst economy since the Great Depression. And so the thing I encourage business owners to do is to get focused. And the thing to get focused on is nothing happens until something gets sold. And, it just seems like in business, of course, you've got a lot of other considerations operationally and different things. But first and foremost, we got to get focused on selling and generating revenue, and so that's the primary thing. One of the things that we teach is the upside of fear. Fear is an acronym for focus, emotional commitment, action, and responsibility. So what we do is get business owners focused on the 5 things they want to accomplish in their business. And then we teach them, and it's kind of funny because your book is about the myth of the multitasking. And that's I have a very similar philosophy, that this whole concept of multitasking is a bit overblown. The reality is the success that I've seen in my life, and I've seen other people double and triple their companies' revenue in this bad economy, and they're doing it by getting focused and focusing on one thing at a time. Once we go through that process, we show folks what we call getting the mind right, by getting emotionally committed to the things that we're focused on. Then, of course, step 3 is taking action. Will Rogers said that even if you're on the right path in life, you'll get run over if you just sit there. You've got to move ahead. And then finally, and perhaps most importantly, responsibility, because bad things are going to happen in life and business. Bad economy's coming. A competitor's cheap price is coming. All those bad things are coming. Fortunately, our success in life and business is a reflection of how we respond. And that's a lesson I learned from Dr. Stephen Covey in 7 Habits, that the quality and character of our life is a reflection of the quality of our responses to problems in life. Recently, I was honored to speak with Dr. Covey in Omaha, Nebraska, at the Quest Center, and I had a chance to speak on stage with him, and that was the primary focus of my message, to accept responsibility for how we respond to life's challenges and business challenges.
All right. Well, that's a great acronym, that FEAR acronym. I love that, and it goes right along with your book, The Upside of Fear. And I would definitely encourage everyone to go check that out on Amazon. It sounds like a fantastic book. I'm looking forward to checking it out. And also go to weldonlong.com, Weldon long.com, and learn how to improve your sales. And I'm just going to recap, as I always do, Wally, at the end of this. What he shared with you touched on 2 of the 6 invaluable factors. Obviously, focus is one of them, the ability to focus on your most valuable activities, or what's going to bring in money to the bottom line. And then the second thing that he mentioned, kind of hinted about it, but the term that I use, Wally, is ability, that you enhance your ability, in this case, to sell, to get your fabulous products and services into the hands of other people. And you're right, there are few problems in business that can't be solved with some good sales, right?
Exactly.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Wally, for being generous with your time and coming and sharing this with us. Hope you continue to have a great week in Colorado Springs.
You can get more money-making work done, add thousands to your bottom line, and finally have the free time you've only been dreaming of. Get free coaching videos at beinvaluable.com.